Hey, this is Matt Kelly from about a million great podcasts, but one great podcast that I don't host is Breakdowns for Breakfast.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Breakdowns for Breakfast. I'm your host, Danger, and joining me is a fellow that I cannot properly break down an album without, your co-host, Monster. Say hi, Monster.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing well. I had a fantastic experience. I went to Mass for the first time in a very long time.
Okay, two questions. Why? And did you enjoy it?
Why? Because we were just fixing it up and you know, my wife actually grew up Catholic, so, you know, going to Mass is not out of the question, and we don't go very often, so I did really enjoy it, but I got a little nervous because have you ever been to a Catholic service before?
Yes.
There's a lot of repetitive vocabularies, you know, sayings that you're supposed to use and stuff. And, you know,
There's a lot of standing and kneeling and yeah.
It's a great way to worship and get cardio. It really works out that way. But no, it became second nature. I was remembering the peace be with yous and the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And luckily I got out of there without embarrassing myself. And all I could think was, thanks be to God.
I usually, like, whatever you have to say, I have no idea what you're going to say, but I feel like there's usually some other, like, connection to it. And I feel like I could have made about 30 within what you just said. Like, something along the lines of, at Mass, I was leaving and I turned and I saw the bowl that holds all of the holy water. And I thought that looks interesting. But no, you went with that.
And here's why. Because your route was too simple. Mine's a thinker, because I still don't think you understand why I said what I said.
Well, I feel like I do know why you said that, but I feel like it's less obvious.
Well, that was the whole point. So tell me, why did I say it that way?
On this episode of Breakdowns for Breakfast, we're going to be talking about the band Holywatr and their newest album, Deo Gratias, which is Thanks Be to God in Latin.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for taking a note. Anyway, this album was released April 17th, 2026, so not that long ago. Monster, I know why I wanted to talk about this album. Why do you think I wanted to talk about this album? Why do you think I thought that you should hear this album and we should talk about it?
Because it's moody, dark, depressing, generic metalcore with symphonic production, like everything you like.
See, I don't feel like it's all those things. I feel like we do get close to that on multiple occasions. I do feel like it toes that line, but I feel like it does quite a bit else within this.
Oh, good. I want you to point those moments out to me, because all I heard was yet another metalcore band that listens to a lot of Sleep Token, that likes dark imagery. And okay, first off, I'm not talking shit. I don't hate it. I don't think it's like the worst thing I ever heard or anything like that. But it feels like it felt like I've already heard this. Like within the first couple songs, I was like, okay, got it. And there is some stuff in the back half that actually does kind of veer off in some different directions, but it's kind of what I expected. However, I will say when I first saw that album cover, my brain went somewhere completely else with where this was actually going to sound like. So when I first put it on, honestly, my first thought was something way darker and way less like quote unquote metalcore. Like I was expecting not like Typo Negative, but something more in line with sort of like this dark, sludgy kind of thing. Instead, we get more like piano, pop vocal with heavy riffs, like, you know, kind of like a lot of these other metalcore bands right now, which is fine. But I did do a little bit of digging and looking around on their social media and stuff, and I do like some of the imagery and some of the vibes they kind of try to create. Then the actual songs don't always wow me.
I have been listening to Holywatr for a while now. I was actually wanting to talk about one of their previous albums, but we never got around to it because we've got so many to talk about that we've talked about amongst ourselves. But then we constantly got requests coming in, which I appreciate all the requests that we get. And please continue sending them in.
Yes, please. Because, as a matter of fact, speaking of which, we got one a couple weeks ago that we're going to do that I never heard of them before, put it on and was like, oh boy, somebody out there likes me.
I'm glad somebody likes you. But
you like me. Don't do that.
Sure, I do. If I didn't like you, then we wouldn't continue doing the show. But
however, other times I think you don't like me because you make me listen to stuff like this.
See, I made you listen to this because I was like, oh, I want to share this because this sounds fun.
Because I want other people to be depressed and angry.
Okay, so that's the thing. Listen to music like this, and all your depressed and angry comes out in this, and then you can continue on and be okay.
As we were discussing right before we started recording, your lack of 311 is what's really hurting your demeanor. If you had more 311 in your life, you'd be a happier person.
I don't think that's the case for anybody, but, if anybody in podcast land disagrees with me and agrees with Monster on that, that's fine. Keep your opinion to yourself. I don't. No, 311 is fine. We did Transistor on the show, and I feel like I gave it a fair rating, a fair shot. And
you did.
That was definitely taking an album that I had very different feelings about when I was younger, and applying 39, 40-year-old feelings and thoughts to it. So
you asked me why I thought you wanted to talk about this. Why did you want to talk about this?
Because, okay, we've just done a little bit of coverage on Sleep Token, not much. Right? I mean, we only covered 2 of their albums.
Yeah, we haven't devoted hours of content to that band. No,
we have not devoted weeks of our life to that band. So ever since diving down the Sleep Token rabbit hole, which you had said that it kind of grabs everybody at different points. Now, while I really enjoyed Sundowning, I really kind of fell down the rabbit hole more with Even in Arcadia. And I know that Sleep Token is a bit of a joke in some circles, but I feel like it's because people are looking at Sleep Token as they do plenty of other bands and stuff where they want them to be one genre. And Sleep Token is not one genre, as we have talked about in the past.
Yeah, and once a band reaches a certain level of popularity, it becomes fun to make fun of them. And that's kind of what Sleep Token did, because I don't think anybody in their right mind thought that was going to become as mainstream as it has.
No.
They're almost like the Nickelback of metalcore at this point, because it's like, even people that don't listen to this style of music, a lot of them know who Sleep Token is.
Right. I think Sleep Token has become one of those things where it's just almost a household name.
Almost, yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, but this one, I feel like there's been the Sleep Token effect, where you have bands that are kind of, experimenting with different styles of music within a certain genre. Now, Holywatr, from what I've listened to in the past, before Sleep Token really hit the stride they have, they were kind of doing this sort of thing, but a little bit more clumsy. And I feel like this is where they kind of started to pull it together. Now, I'm going to agree with you. I do think there's the back half of this album is great. Is a lot stronger than the first half, but I still really enjoy the first half as well. I do enjoy everything that happens here, except for one part, and we will talk about that. I don't know. I feel like Holywatr is a band that deserves to be talked about and deserves to be listened to, just like I, thought Bat Fangs needed to be listened to and should be paid attention to,
Sure. And this is another one of those examples. I'm going to say this a whole bunch of times, so strap in. It's just not for me. Like, I hear what they're doing. I see why people would dig it. I've already got a band or two that kind of do this kind of thing that I'm a fan of. I don't need another one, So, and for me, to your point, I didn't do a deep dive, but I did go back and listen to a few older songs. And I kind of liked what they were doing before they went this Sleep Token-esque, because it was almost like a trip hop kind of thing. Like, there's a song. I don't know if we're going to talk about this song or not because it's not technically on the album, but it was the last track on the Spotify. It's an older song.
So to answer that, yes, I have a few notes on it, and we will talk about it. But it's an older song that they actually did with somebody else, and they re-recorded it for the purpose of this. So it was intended to be the closing track for this. That I can tell. From what I could put together.
That's one of my favorite songs because it's got this different kind of swagger about it. The lyrics are a lot less, oh, I'm so dark and like mysterious. And it's a lot more like, this is what happened. This is how I feel. And the music has a little more like groove to it. So I went back and listened to a few other older songs. They don't all work for me. I know their most popular song is like Nail Polish. And that didn't really do anything for me. But it was kind of like, I think incorporating a little bit of the Sleep Token stuff was not a bad move. This singer, he's got the kind of voice that can kind of pull off that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. But he's got a hell of a voice.
He does. And I think 90% of the time what he does with it is like the right move. But there's a couple times where I think he's sort of, I don't know if he's just trying different things and just, trying to mix it up. But there's one or two times where I feel like, was that the right vocal move? Like, you've got such a cool voice. It's very unique. It's very strong. Why did you do that? Because you could have done this instead,
Maybe there needs to be a monsters driving class where you take the wheel as far as vocal choices. Now, I think we could actually say that about plenty of bands, plenty of albums that we've done where it's, why did you choose that vocal, that vocal run or whatever, why did you make that choice there? So I've gotten to the point to where I no longer say, why are you doing that? I take everything as, you've chosen this. This was a choice. I'm going to now judge your choice because that's what we do here is we judge things.
Yeah. So that's what
we judge things
doing.
That people worked on for a long time and very hard.
Right. And I always try to keep that in mind too, that, just because I don't like something doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means I don't like it. And that's sort of where I am on this because they do a lot of things that I like and there are moments that I enjoy, but then there's also a whole lot of, I've already heard this. Especially at this stage, we are reaching a point now. I've mentioned this on a couple of previous episodes where I think it's getting oversaturated. And I think some bands are going to have to start changing things up a little bit because it's getting too full. We've got too many bands that are doing this like metal riffs with pop vocals, with piano, with string production. There's so many bands doing it now that somebody's going to have to take the lead and just shoot off into left field like Sleep Token did a couple years ago. Sleep Token took what metalcore was doing and ran way over here with it. And then everybody chased after them. So I don't know who it is. I haven't found them yet, but I feel like there's going to be another shift within the next few years of something a little different.
We're going to find them on the show. And nobody's going to listen to the episode because it's a band that has 12 monthly listeners. But we're going to listen to it and go, this is amazing.
Yep.
And everybody should listen to this. But nobody will because they listen to the episode because nobody will know band Turd Muncher or whatever the name's going to be.
I hope it's not Turd Muncher.
I hope it is.
I can't wear a shirt that says Turd Muncher. I just can't.
I mean, you have to. Your face already says it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
No, I feel like you and I have done a fairly good job, and if Podcast Land disagrees with me, then share that opinion. But you and I have done a pretty good job with, we've always tried to pick the album that is not a band's, most popular album and talk about it. And sometimes that just happens to be our favorite album, like our very first episode on Finch's Say Hello to Sunshine.
Right.
Yeah. But I feel like you and I have done a pretty good job of, picking bands that not everybody is listening to. Like, for instance, Lordy.
Yeah. And I don't think Lordy is going to all of a sudden change the musical landscape for the future.
No, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like he has a lot of vocal range.
But
I feel like what it is what it is. It's he's going to sound like a monster no matter what.
But I think about President. We've talked about them a little bit, and I know neither one of us are big fans of them. If you look at Holywatr and their iconography, and like I said, their website is pretty fun. If you go to their actual website, it looks like a black and white CRT TV, and it's kind of staticky and stuff, and it's I like that. Like, I like that they have a vibe, but they almost have the exact same sort of mysteriousness about them. They just don't wear masks. Like, they have the same dark, moody atmosphere around their imagery and their music. They just don't go the full tilt and dress up in costumes. However, if you look at their album covers, they like to do some kind of extreme makeup and stuff from time to time. So I think it's still sort of in line with that.
You brought it up before, and you just brought up album covers again. I wanted to talk about it. The album cover for this album.
Oh my God. I've stared at it. I've studied it. It fascinates me.
Okay. What about it fascinates you?
Okay.
And what I was going to say about it is that it looks like what Jack Nicholson's Joker and the Batman would have been a fan of.
Okay. So I even pulled my wife in earlier today to look at this with me. So for obviously, when we share the episode, we'll share a picture of the album cover. You can distinctly see it's 4 people, and there's 3 people kind of in the background in the shadows, and it's very dark and dark grays and black. But then there's one figure more kind of center, moving closer to the camera, who's like silhouetted in this bright light. I have looked at this, like I said, just studying it. I see his arm. I can see that it's a torso. He's not wearing a shirt. But when you get up to like the shoulders and up, I don't know what I'm looking at. And it has intrigued me. Like, I can't tell if it's a person's face turned sideways. When I first looked at it, I thought he had like maybe his other arm was up kind of in front of him. If you look carefully, there's like a black something kind of coming out from where his head is. I don't know if that's supposed to be a horn. Like, I don't know. I love it. I can't figure it out exactly. Like, at some point I keep expecting to look at it, and all of a sudden it just like clicks into focus. Like, oh, there's the face, there's the whatever, but it just won't do it. It's driving me nuts.
So it looks like to me that, yes, you've got the 3 figures in the background. I assume this is the band. Although I do know that there is a member of the band that's black, and none of these guys are. But
well, it's so dark. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, you can't make anything out. You just sort of see like foreheads and eyebrows almost.
Yeah, there are foreheads, even though there's only 3 of them. But yeah, so I just feel like he's kind of doing a Scott Weiland or Iggy Pop sort of like pose and looking off to the side, and it's just a poorly done picture, and it looks like he's actually got one hand out in like the pterodactyl claw that Will Ramos does when he screams,
right,
and then the other arm, I think it might be just kind of back in the darkness. I don't know, and just kind of looking off to the side. I don't know. I didn't really put as much thought into it as you did. In fact, this is more thought than I put into it all week, and yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't really. It looks, like I said, it looks like something that Jack Nicholson's Joker would have been a fan of in Batman.
I distinctly remember when you said you wanted to do this album, and I pulled it up and I saw that album cover, and I was like, oh, this could be something. Like, there's something about this image that's like haunting, and I'm really interested to dive into this. And then I dived into it and was like, oh, okay, I got it.
No, the imagery kind of looks like a cross between like a Type O Negative and Depeche Mode.
Something a lot, I don't want to say a lot darker than this, because this is still a dark record. I mean, there's a lot of dark lyrics and heavy music, but yeah, something a little more, I was expecting something a little more gothy, and not like orchestral, like that kind of stuff. I just meant like it in a slower, darker kind of way.
Yeah. All right. Now you talked about president, or comparing them to president, and yeah, sure, they do have some mysteriousness about their imagery and whatnot, but something they do that president doesn't do is all their names were available.
Yes. Yeah. And they, like I said, they are not gimmicky in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to roll through the people in the band. So on lead vocals, we've got Patrick Middlethon. On lead guitar, Chandler Martin, and he also was a producer on the album. And then on drums, Daniel Gallardo, and on rhythm guitar, Quentin Kelly. Now, if I mispronounced any of your names, Holywatr, I apologize, but that's the phonetic that I came up with in my head. So, yeah.
What'd you say the lead singer's name was?
Patrick Middlethon.
Okay.
Middlethon.
We'll stick with Patty. So from what I understand, very similar to Sleep Token, Holywatr was basically just Patrick for a while. And I think that once he started to, again, I don't know anything about him or this band, but it feels like from the couple of older songs that I listened to, very similar to when you listen to, the first couple EPs by Sleep Token. It feels very much like someone who is an incredible singer and a really good songwriter, but he doesn't have a lot of other people kind of pushing and trying different things. This feels like a band that wrote this album together. And from what I read, that seems to be kind of what happened here. So in that respect, I think the songwriting might have grown a bit. It's just the direction they took it in is not as interesting for me.
Okay. And then I did find a producer on this album. I did have trouble finding information on Holywatr, so I'm glad you did more digging than I was able to, given the limited time that I've actually had last week.
That was the extent of my knowledge. I have nothing else to offer.
Again, I'm glad you did more digging than I did in my limited time. No, because it really this has been an insane week for me, and I haven't had as much time to devote to Holywatr as normal. But
hey, listeners, if you want us to do the really deep dive dirty work, gonna have to start paying us.
Yep.
Until then, this is what you
Monster. Monster told me in a text the other day that we now have an OnlyFans page. Not sure what's there. But there's probably some oscillating fans, some box fans, maybe some window fans.
Dude, you should see this ceiling fan that's on there. It is to die for.
I found that somebody named Holy, was a producer on this. Found nothing about this person except for possibly this person who this made me feel old when I saw this. Miguel Oliveira, born in 1995. Is a Portuguese DJ and music producer. I don't know if this person, I don't have I could not find any direct information on this holy person. Or maybe because their music has so much religious imagery in it, they were like, maybe let's just make Holy a producer.
Yeah, maybe that could be part of the, I don't know, sort of their weird kind of idiosyncrasies. Like, again, talking about their website, they gosh, I don't remember all the vocabulary now, but there's one page that's called rituals, and it's a list of their tour dates. Then there's also one manifesto, and it was like looked like song lyrics, but kind of their mission statement as a band, and all that's kind of dark and mysterious. But then click on their merch page and it says real big, "Wear our shit." And then underneath it, or don't. It's I appreciate the fact that they are dark and mysterious, but they're not like Sleep Token where Vessel, no one knows what he looks like or you know what I mean? They have the dark imagery, but they don't go that deep with it.
Right. Now, I will say that I kind of had a bit of a thing where I had to choose what I was doing. So, I had tickets to go see Bill Murray recently. Mm. Well, to all of our listeners, I did the really cool act of tripping going up the stairs, and I fell off the side of the stairs and landed on my hip on the cement floor, and it hurt real bad. The morning of the Bill Murray show, and I honestly could not stand for longer than a song. And I actually timed that. I did it just because I really want to know if I could do it for the Bill Murray show. But then there were some other things, and so I just didn't end up going. But Holywatr was actually playing in the same city as the Bill Murray show the same night with Knocked Loose.
Oh, wow.
They're actually with Knocked Loose, Stain Atlantic, and Paleface Swiss. And I was like, that'd be a fun show to go to. And then I didn't go to anything. So I had a hard time choosing what I was going to do, but then I chose nothing.
Then I chose the couch.
Yeah. But the couch was a comfortable place to be because it hurt to stand.
Yeah, it's dude, we're getting old. it's
Yeah. I think I texted you about it and you said, when you're 40, you don't bend anymore. You just break.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, you got to be careful. Your whole night could get derailed because you ate too much cheese before the show. I mean, it's bad out there, man.
I've almost canceled recording because I just ate too much cheese. I mean, it's,
dude, do you think we can do this tomorrow night? I have to poop.
All right. Are you ready to talk about this album? Because I feel like we're just derailing things now and digressing.
Yeah. This is really falling apart. So yeah, let's do it.
All right. Track 1, Give Me a Show. This was the first single from the band released last July, so July 25. I don't have the date that it was released, but I understand why this would be a single because I feel like this is pretty much what the album is. Like this is going to show you like all sides of what this album is going to be.
So as soon as it started, I was like, oh boy, here we go. This is a Sleep Token knockoff kind of band. And it doesn't necessarily go full Sleep Token because that's another thing. Most of these songs are really short. They're all like, 3, 4. I don't think there's 1 or 2 songs that get close to 5 minutes, but nothing tops 5. So it doesn't
but on a lot of the songs, I have notes of where I feel like they should have cut it before. And you're right. These are not long songs, but it kind of feels like the end just was unneeded or repetitive or something like that on a lot of these. And this one is one of those.
Well, so the song starts very Sleep Token-esque with this big vocal thing and this kind of like airy kind of production. And then...
Do you know what they're chanting?
It's something in Latin. I'm going
to try my best pronunciation here. Ultio dulcius est, which is revenge is sweet.
Okay. So it's like, okay, you're setting up your atmosphere or whatever, but it's a mood and a vibe that I think us Sleep Token fans are accustomed to. And then it kind of kicks in and it's like, oh, okay. So it's not really like they're not ripping off Sleep Token. They're going to do their own thing. I appreciate that. But then what they go into is like metalcore with orchestral production. It's like, man, why is everybody doing this? Like, I get it. It's cool. But like, do we have to do it? Can we do something a little different?
So I feel like, yes. I mean, at 31 seconds, it hits big. And I feel like it gets rather intense at that point because it was just unexpected because we went from this Latin chanting, what I felt like was like, okay, I've heard your stuff before, but Holywatr, you're definitely embracing this like Catholic church chanting kind of a deal.
Yeah.
And then it hits with that, and it's like, okay, cool. Like I did not have the response that you did of like, I've heard this before. It was, okay, well, this is interesting. And then I was not expecting, the growls and the screams I think are good. And to know that it's Patrick, I'm not calling him Patty. I will not call him Patty.
I think he'd like it if we called him Patty. He seems like the kind of guy that would be cool with that.
In all of his mysteriousness, you picked up on that?
No, actually, again, I don't know anything about this guy or his band or nothing. I will not pass any kind of judgment, but I did watch a couple music videos, and he looks more like the type of guy that might kick me in the head if I called him Patty.
Yeah. So,
and rightfully so.
I'm going to continue calling you Patrick. And if you did kick Monster in the head, I'm going to say, okay, good job.
I would love to call him by his last name, but there's no way I'm going to say that right.
Yeah. We're going to go by Patrick. So anyway, Patrick does, from what I could tell, what I've found, Patrick does the harsh and the clean vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like his falsetto needs to be as much as we get it, but I was definitely not expecting his falsetto like we get here, but he's definitely showing off the vocal range that he has.
Right. So as the song progresses, I think probably one of my favorite parts of the song is right around 102, because you get these real like tight, like like syncopated chugs. And a lot of that other like orchestral production kind of slips away. And it's just like the live instruments. I think it sounds really good. And then right after that, around 134, everything kind of drops out and it's just his vocals. And that's where I think his vocals really shine. Because it's layered. There is falsetto, but there's also other clean vocals mixed in there. And it sounds really good. And I like those moments, because those are the moments that I think do make them stand out. It's just buried within all the other stuff that I feel like every other band in the genre is doing.
I do feel like I feel like this first song, like I said, I think it does set up the album. So I do think it was a good opener, but I do feel like they are trying to maybe cram in a little too much. And it does have a tendency to feel crowded at certain points. And I genuinely love this first song. I listened to this first song multiple times, but there was always a point to where it just felt like a little too much. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and we'll come back. But that's why I say that it should have closed out at 4 minutes. And just kind of been done, because I feel like it was so busy before that point that it's like we didn't really need anything after that. And that was a good place to close it down.
Yeah, because there's not really like there is a chorus that gets repeated multiple times. And in fact, your complaint just there was that the last part of the song where you said it should have cut off, they do the chorus again. And I kind of agree with you. It probably doesn't need to be there, because that whole section that's like 220, that's a good example of his vocals not really doing it for me. Like, I like that it changes up and you've got this kind of distorted bass thing. He's kind of trying to do some vamps that they don't sound bad. It's just, I feel like I heard him just do something a lot more interesting. And so it sort of doesn't wow me. And then there's a part shortly thereafter around 255. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The part where it goes very ethereal.
Yes. And he goes super high pitched and falsetto there. I like a lot of that. Again, I like Sleep Token. So, I mean, I don't hate this, but it's also like, again, like, I don't mean any disrespect, but it's like, yeah, we've got Sleep Token at home. Like, it's very much like, yes, this dude can sing. Yes, this band is doing some cool stuff. Is this a great song? I don't know. It doesn't wow me.
So I'm not going to agree with the, yes, we have Sleep Token at home, because that was ethereal treason.
Okay, you are correct there. Ethereal treason is not even in the same ballpark as Holywatr. Like,
no,
yeah, Holywatr is leaps and bounds better than that, like, for sure.
And for those of you listening that want to know what we're talking about, go listen to our episode on ethereal treason, and just be prepared for us not to like it. Just spoiler alert.
Yeah, and you know what? Buddy released a new album this year.
Oh, good for him.
Oh my God. It is over an hour long. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Like, I could already tell you that it's going to sound very similar to what it was before, or to what the last album was. And I don't need that in my life.
No, nobody does. Nobody does.
So, okay. I said this song could close down at 4 minutes. And then we do get a bit more after that, and this is where they are saying the chorus or repeating the chorus again. But what I thought was interesting within this is, like I do plenty of other times, I go online after I've formed my opinion and my notes and everything, and I start looking at what other people are saying about it.
Mm-hmm.
And evidently, Holywatr has a bit more of a following than I was aware of, because this song is one that people online were like, this is a great song because it sounds like a Gothic ceremony gone wrong.
Okay, so yes, but not in the way I want it to. Because
I'm sorry, things can't go wrong according to you, because then that would be going right for you, and they don't do that because it says it in the thing, it's going wrong.
So in that respect, I guess they nailed it. But no, like,
yeah.
I just like I said with the album cover, like I was expecting moodier. Like, not that I wanted it to sound like this because I wasn't a huge fan of this, but that Queens of the Stone Age, that like Live from the Catacombs thing, I was expecting a little bit more of that kind of atmosphere, and that's not on here. Like, there's very, very little of anything like that. But with these song titles and that album cover, like I thought we were going to get more of that, and it's not there. I agree. It's like a Gothic ritual thing, but I want more of that kind of thing mixed in, I guess.
I'm sorry, this album doesn't sound like somebody using a skull for an ashtray.
With that album cover and these song titles, it should, damn it.
All right, fine. Whatever. All right, let's talk about track 2, Nightmares. Okay, so I'm going to say that this was not a favorite of mine. Like, I really didn't like this song because I definitely don't like the beginning of this song. I don't like the intro. Embalmed with the fairy tale, tangled webs.
Okay.
But this song grew on me.
Okay, so here's what I have written in my notes. This sounds exactly like a Sleep Token song, but I'm not mad about it because it's done very well. I do like the intro. It's okay. I think it's well performed. The lyrics are kind of creepy. When it kicks in,
the creepy is all over this album.
Oh, absolutely. When it kicks in, I almost rolled my eyes because it was like such a, okay, piano, ethereal, creepy intro. Then you've got these super low tuned guitars and that kind of off rhythms. Like, this is so Sleep Token. But I can't deny that it's good. And when he sings, man, dude, the first time I heard him do that real high pitched, like ethereal falsetto thing with the really low chuggy guitars. Yes. Hell yes. Like, that sounds wonderful. I really like that.
Yeah. So I feel like the first part of the song, the first half of the song, I don't even know if it is half. I don't have the times on how long the songs are.
That intro is about a minute long, a little over a minute.
I was about to say, I didn't really like the intro for the first while. And after listening to this several times, like I said, it grew on me. And once the beat starts, it does start to hit. It starts to pull in, and it starts at 102. So
it starts at 102, but Patrick, that note you hit at 112 is like Mariah Carey levels of like sweetness. That is so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and that was not an insult by any means by comparing you to Mariah Carey, because her album Music Box, there was rumors circulating, and this was before the internet, so I don't know how it was circulating as much as it was, but there were rumors that you could roll your windows down, turn your stereo all the way up, and open garage doors. She hits the same frequency.
That's amazing. I hope that's true.
Yeah, never tried it. Probably should, but at the same time, Mariah Carey cannot hit those notes anymore.
No,
not at all.
The fact that she could ever do it is testament alone. But no, yeah. I think Patrick's voice, especially during those sections, is really, really good. So like I said, I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here. this is a very Sleep Token influenced kind of song. I know I'm complaining about that, but this one is done so well that I'm kind of here for it.
Okay, if anybody from Holywatr listens to this episode, first off, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
But I'm going to ask a favor of you. Could you please send us an email or shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram or wherever and let us know if Sleep Token really was a big inspiration on this, and if you guys even do like Sleep Token, because I would love it, love it, love it, love it if you were like, if you just emailed and said Sleep Token is the worst band ever, we hate them. And so then I could say, see, Monster, they don't like Sleep Token.
You can say that, it's fine, but it's here. You cannot. I sent one or two of these songs. Actually, funny side note, two of these songs. I sent two of these to a buddy of mine, and I said, because he's a big Sleep Token fan, and I said, hey man, we're doing this band for the show. What do you think? And he said, had you not told me who it was, I would have thought it was a Sleep Token song that somebody had pitched down. And I was like, you're not wrong.
I like it.
I do like this song. I think Nightmares is a fun song.
Okay, so I will say this song does get better at 158. It's
that
like when it really
cool.
crunches. But I think my favorite part about this is the dropout we get at 233.
Oh, okay.
I'm a sucker for a dropout. I am, especially when the things around it are really good and I enjoy them.
Because I actually
233.
Because I actually like the part right before that starts at like 2:15 with those kind of like real heavy, kind of weird off kilter guitars. I like that part.
Well, see, I said I really like a dropout, especially when what's before and after is good.
Right.
And they do that.
Right.
Yeah, they do that. But I don't think we do enough to acknowledge the rhythm sections in bands, but the rhythm section deserves to be acknowledged here because they're killing it.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this more on the next song for sure, but I agree. I think the drums on here are really good because they do a lot of those where like the guitar, bass, and the drums are a little bit, they're syncopated, but sort of in an off kilter kind of way. I think everything's in 4/4. I mean, I don't think there's any weird time signatures or anything.
Everything's in 4/4 if you count different.
Exactly. If you don't count like a nerd, everything is in 4/4. But there's just these parts where the drums are kind of playing a straightforward beat, but the guitar is doing like a like kind of like an off thing. But it sounds really tight, and they sound locked in.
So this is another one where I have a note of it needs to close at 3:07. They should just let it close down and be done there because we don't need the tones at the end of the song. I was waiting for, I think there's one place where I have that the sound we get at the end kind of sets up the next song, but I don't feel like it sets up the next song at all. I feel like it's the only place where we should ever get that kind of stuff anywhere, not just this album.
I think it was the idea there was to kind of bookend the song with the same vibe of the intro for the outro. I don't mind it, but yeah, it doesn't like add anything necessarily.
All right, track 3, Pure Leaf. Which can I say, like the song titles are, I feel like the song titles are very reminiscent of like a early 90s album.
I appreciate that they are just simple and to the point. They're not like...
Yeah. I mean, lately we've been getting song titles like, I sold the jet skis because they were a bad investment and I love jelly.
I can't believe I spilt my coffee at the scene of the crime. Like, what?
Yeah. Have you seen the girl I'm going out with? She's a sketch artist. Yeah. I don't get it. Anyway, this was the final single off of this album to be released. Now, I do have a question. If you can help me on this one, because I am just genuinely curious. bands are releasing singles, but like bands used to release singles and they would go to radio. Are bands releasing singles and they're going somewhere now?
I think they just go to YouTube and streaming. Like I think they just release a video. I think sometimes shout out to Blank Era, our good friend JC, who did a episode with us. Talked about Garbage's debut album. Garbage's, yeah.
It wasn't a Garbage episode. We talked about Garbage,
the band.
We talked about an album from Garbage. Anyway, yeah.
They just released a new single that is going to radio. It is going on Octane. So it's like some bands.
Well, they've got that kind of pull. They can do that,
right? I don't know that this goes to Octane. Maybe I don't think there's any reason this couldn't be played on Octane, you know.
I don't think this could be played on Octane. Like I don't feel like this album is Octane friendly. I feel like there's actually certain places where they veer away from being Octane friendly on purpose. In fact, I think
agree.
This album is exactly what they wanted it to be.
No, and I don't disagree. This song in particular, the fact that it is a single, the fact that there is a music video for it, I think is kind of odd, mostly for just the bridge, because the bridge is very weird.
Yeah, and we'll get to the bridge.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about this song. I constantly found myself coming back to this song. And I think it's the chorus to this song. I do love the chorus on here. His vocal rhythm, all of it. It works for me.
Ain't no way I'm doing this again. I can feel my skin falling off the bone.
Yeah, this is one, like the chorus. Would you say the chorus starts around like 111, 112? Is that kind of what you're calling the chorus?
I didn't get a time on the chorus. It's the part where he says, I can feel my skin falling off the bone, given too much, my body, my mind, my soul. I'm a husk of who I've been with a smile so fake.
Okay.
I like the chorus. I like the way he does it. I don't know. This one was good. I really enjoyed this one.
Because that section that I'm talking about that starts around like 111, 112, it's a whole lot of vamping and not really any like substance. Like it feels like a whole lot of oh hey, oh hey, hey. It's like, okay, fine, like you're a good singer, do it. I don't know, like it doesn't wow me. Like it sounds like, I don't know, like I just want more from that section there.
I think the part you're talking about, I know what you're talking about, but the whole thing on this song is, I feel like the guitars are probably the best on this song than anywhere else on the album. I feel like the guitar work here is just fantastic. I feel like it's sharp and gritty, but it doesn't lose weight. I don't know. I feel like it was just so damn good here.
The cool thing about the guitar on this song is, especially during like the main portions of the song, it's really just like a one note chug, just jaunt, jaunt, jaunt. And it's the drums that is they're locked in. It kind of gives it this like kind of busy feeling, but it's still like funky and you kind of nod your head along to it. I do like the guitars on this song. I don't know. His vocals to me on this one, this is a good example of what I was saying earlier, where dude's a hell of a singer. He's got a cool voice. I just don't love what he's doing with it on this one.
It's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's talk about that bridge. I didn't get a time on the bridge, but the bridge is hard to miss on this one.
So the siren, I guess, that kicks it off is at 2:35.
Okay.
And then it kind of just goes into these like metalcore, like double kick, like kind of patterns. And then there's some voiceovers.
Yep, I know exactly what it is. Okay. Yep. So it's a Hugh Grant movie. It's a Hugh Grant monologue that he has, and it's from a movie he did called Heretic.
Yes. Okay. I haven't seen it, but I've heard.
Yeah, I loved it. And it's this whole monologue he has. I think it's the two girls that show up to his house are Mormons, and Great movie. I don't know. It's lots of things are happening all over the place. Anyway, but he's having this whole big monologue basically comparing the modernization of religion amongst people to, or he's comparing it to Monopoly, different versions of Monopoly. And it's very good. And, you do hear him say, I want you to pick a door based off of your beliefs. I'm asking you to, I forget what his exact words are. Yeah, and that's a kind of where I would like to say that's where the movie really kicks off, but it kind of kicks off before that, during his speech and all. But I think the thing I appreciate about that moment in the movie the most is that before that movie, before Heretic, Hugh Grant really was just I would say heartthrob, but he's not a heartthrob. He was in like romantic comedies and all, and then I feel like that was his kind of comeback into a different genre. And
as Family Guy said, he's always so charmingly befuddled.
No, he's not charmingly befuddled.
No, not in Heretic. No, not at all.
No. That movie showed me that Hugh Grant is probably a very underrated actor. So I don't know. The bridge musically, yes, it's a very metalcore, just kind of stock drumming and whatnot. But the punch after the bridge.
Yes. So after Hugh Grant's thing, then there's another speaker that says something about it's not just Hugh Grant the whole time. Like there's that part, but then there's or maybe it is him, but it sounds like a completely different voice. Talks a little bit more about the same thing, kind of, is God real and the church real, or is it not? And both are scary and blah, blah, blah. And then there's a thing about which door do you choose? And you hear a girl's voice say, I don't know. And
then, so that it is all Hugh Grant. And
wow, okay.
That's actually her response in the movie. She says, I don't know.
Okay.
That's kind of along with it. Yeah.
And then Zachy Vengeance kicks in the door and we have a very Avenged Sevenfold style guitar solo.
Asking you to choose between belief and disbelief.
Sinister Gates.
I don't know. I really like the guitar solo that we get there.
Oh yeah, not mad at it.
It's a fun
cool.
solo. And then I like how after the solo at 402, it's not an overstay your welcome kind of solo, but it's like it kind of gets to a point where you're like, okay, yeah, we've soloed. Okay, now we're going to do something different. Like right when I was kind of done with it, 402, the guitar drops out. And then what I thought was kind of neat is they kind of go to an ending that I do like the way they get there, because it's like everything's going, the solo ends, guitar drops out, and then it just kind of slowly, things fade away. Like we get, like the bass goes out, then it's just the toms and the vocals. And I think it's a really, really good way to kind of round things out to 435. And then that's where it should stop, because the end is just him vamping.
And that's what I mean. Like those are the vocal choices that I don't love. I get it. Dude's a good singer. You're showing off a little bit. I'm not mad at you, but it feels, at this point, it feels gratuitous because you've already done some of this throughout the song. I agree. I like the way that it kind of almost falls apart at the end. Things keep falling away. And I don't mind it ending with just the vocal, but it just feels, at that point, it feels unnecessary.
What I would have rather him do there is let the things fall away. But instead of vamping and, doing his vocal, gymnastics and whatnot, go into doing the vocal part of the chorus again over top of the toms, and then let it end on that. I would have been more okay with that.
Yeah, more okay with, now that I know what you're talking about as far as the chorus part goes, what he's doing at the end of the song is what he was doing at that one whatever mark that I was talking about earlier, where it is just mostly just vamping, and I don't know. I don't think it's great.
And I don't think I minded it as much there because I enjoyed everything else that was going on.
Makes sense.
And there are some places in here where I do think the mixing is a bit off and a bit weird. There's one place where I definitely, pick it out. And I do think there are certain places where he is vamping and all, but it doesn't stick out to me as much because of the way that it's mixed.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. There is something about the mix of this album, and I could never really put my finger on it.
Yeah,
I think
that's why I don't have any notes about that.
Yeah, like I do think it sounds good, but there's just a couple of moments where it feels like not super smooth or something. I don't know.
It's like the mixing is good, but there's a few moments where I think, could it be better here?
Something like that. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about track 4, Are You There? Sorry, let me say that different. Are you there? Because it does have a question mark.
Or is it, are you there?
Well, see, the you is not capitalized to show emphasis on it.
Yes, it is.
I think it's just kind of, what?
On mine it is. On Spotify it is.
Oh, I don't have that it's capitalized. So, yeah, are you there? Yeah, I don't know. Holywatr, if you listen to this and you feel like even entertaining that, please don't. Just ignore this entire part.
Stop asking them to listen and to respond, okay? They're busy people. They're on tour with Architects or something.
Knocked Loose, I think they're going on tour with Architects in Europe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, also, did you see where these guys are from? I did not.
No, I didn't. Wait, maybe I did. Are they from Chicago?
Okay.
I don't know why I'm thinking it's Chicago, because it's Los Angeles, California. So what do I know?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know anything.
Wait, I just discovered something.
What?
The project was formed in 2020 by frontman and vocalist Patrick, in parentheses, Holy.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I did.
There it is.
I did find at a certain point within trying to find their names and all that, like each of them have different names they have gone by or go by, and I just skipped that part of putting in the notes because I was like, we're not going to mess with your alternate names. We're going to go with just who you actually are.
Right. And Vessel in Sleep Token is in no way an influence, I'm sure.
Yeah, but okay. I like the intro into the Chugs.
I like the busy guitars. I do like that we kind of get a mix up on the guitar tone here.
So this song, I didn't dislike it at first, but I didn't like it as much as what had come before because I'm still all in on this one. I feel like we're about to hit a bit of a slump, but then come back up towards the end. But yeah, but this one definitely grew on me because I liked that intro into the Chugs, but like it's kind of just what was happening after that was just kind of okay. Fine.
Yeah, so his vocals in the verse are fine. The vocals, I was calling it a pre-chorus. It starts around 49 seconds where he's like, have you had enough? That, I don't like that. Like, I don't know. There's something about the rhythm and stuff. And then when he does it later, he does this like thing where he's like, and then it's like, no, don't do that, please. But the actual chorus, I think he sounds really, really good.
Agreed.
There's this, especially, he hits this high note coming out of the chorus. That's the thing. I know you said something about him using his falsetto. Yes, I get what you're saying, but when he goes like full voiced into that real high pitch notes that he does, I find that very impressive, and I really like the way he ends the choruses.
Oh, I will agree with you. I don't love where he always puts them, but I think it's fun when he does those super high notes like that. And I choose to have fun with it instead of be jealous about it because I can't do that.
I know. I really wish I could sing because, man, I can play guitar. Like we have a couple of friends that just go and do like guitar and sing and make money. It's like, damn it, I can't do that.
I want more of the guitar that starts at 135. fact, when I remember writing down the note, give me more of the guitar that starts at 135, I feel like Monster is going to want to put that into his veins.
I do like it. It does have a little bit, it's still pretty, but it's got a little bit of like that. It's hard to explain. It's sort of almost like a Kill Switch Engage kind of lick, just played like at this slow waltzy tempo, which kind of gives it a cool vibe.
It's an elegant, distorted Kill Switch.
Yeah, I think all that checks out.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I saw somebody say is that this song is weaponized patience. It rewards the patience that you give it for 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Because I had the note, your face was not ready for 254.
I don't mind 254, but the section that comes right before it that starts at 221, I have no use for this. I am tired of this. This to me is the stuff that these bands are doing now that I don't like. I don't like, I'm listening to a rock song and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm watching Tim Burton's Batman. Like, I don't need this. Like, why are bands doing this? If you want to have like your weird ethereal like production here or there, I don't love it, but a lot of bands are doing it, whatever. But you literally, the rock band stops so you can have an orchestral section. No, stop. That derails the entire song for me.
See, I have here that at 222, things take a definite shift with some weird drumming and symphony sounds that I don't love, but I also feel like that is almost a necessary thing to happen for 254 to hit so heavy.
You can do it for a couple of seconds. You could even just like drop out and almost go silent for a couple seconds, kind of like how you did at the end of Pure Leaf. You don't need 30 seconds of a film score. Like I'll
agree with you. I will. I'm more okay with that sound than you are. So I'm okay with it being a little bit longer than a couple seconds, but I definitely don't think it needs to be 30 seconds long.
Yeah, I'm just over that. Like I know that's a popular thing to do. A lot of bands are doing it. It's wasted on me. It really, at this point, I'm kind of burnt out on it.
That's fine. So this is another one where I have a note about the end of it because how long is this song? Do you have that?
Yeah, it is 4 minutes and 32 seconds.
Okay, cool. Because this one should have closed at 3:55.
Yes, I agree.
I don't mind the piano. I do feel like it helps to set up the tone for the next song, the intro of the next one, but I don't think it's needed. I think it could have just rounded out at 3:55 and been okay. 3:55 is a perfectly fine length of a song.
Oh, sure.
We don't need the rest of it.
I'm kind of with you on that.
All right, so let's move on to talk about track 5, Burn the Witch.
I see clearly now.
I said another cool song title.
Yeah. But see, when I came across this song when I was sitting down taking my notes and all, I was like, where have I heard this Burn the Witch? And I feel like there's and I know we talked about on the episode with Daniel Terry. Sorry, his name was just escaping me for a second.
Zayo's album?
Yeah, on the Zayo one. I know we talked about Project 86, and I know that there is a Project 86 song where he says, burn the witch, like big and angry, but I could not find that song. I feel like I have that song on CD somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Of course, I really only put about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes into looking for it, and and they've got hours of music to sort through, so.
Fair enough.
But from what I remember, that's a really good song, and I really like that. Of course, I just really like Project 86.
Yes. We will definitely do a Project 86 album at some point.
We should actually probably do one of their newer ones because it's a very different sound. It's very heavy and it's very big and angry, and I love it.
That's what I've heard. And you know me, I kind of get the impression that they're going in a little bit more of like a cranked up new metal kind of thing that, yeah, I'm interested to hear it.
Yeah. We'll do one of their newest albums, one of their newer ones. It is a part 1 and part 2, so I don't really know how that would work.
Oh boy. Okay. Maybe we won't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 different albums they released because you can't release a double album in physical form anymore because nobody will buy it.
That's a damn shame, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, it is a shame. You're right. But let's talk about this song. Okay. So I said before, the creepy is all over this album, and we get a creepy ass intro.
I like the guitar a lot.
Oh, I don't hate it. I mean, it's a good creepy, but it's creepy.
The tone and the notes gave me a little bit of Incubus right when they started to switch into the indie thing before, like, Crow Left of the Murder era. I really like it. His vocals on top are fine. Then when it kicks in, it's all fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But at 57 seconds, where it mellows out and it's like very clean guitar, I think that's some of his best vocals on the whole album.
I see clearly now. Sleeping with your phone under the pillow.
It's full, but it sounds emotional. The lyrics are a little bit more blunt. He's talking about sleeping with the phone under your pillow. He's not singing about some wild metaphors and does God exist. It's very small and it's very in person. And I like that stuff better. I wish there was more of that here.
Yeah. So I do like the chug that we get in the chorus. It's a very simple chug.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple and effective. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's digging into Monsters territory, giving chugs. Cool. I do think that there is an operatic vibe. There's like an eeriness about the song and all. And I get what you're saying, but it's almost like, okay, so I feel like this is, to me, I feel like this is where, it kind of dips down a little bit because this song almost felt too ritualistic for me. It was a weird thing for me to feel, but yeah.
No, I know what you mean, because I'm good with up to what I just said, because then around 2:01, something like that, it goes back into that like orchestral overboard thing.
Let me hear you out. Say love will always kill you in the end. How ironic, 'cause now you're staring.
We've talked about this. A lot of bands, they don't do the same verse again. Like, they used to be like a common song structure is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, done. And your verses were essentially the same rhythm or the same melody. You just had different lyrics. Well, this is a case of they do something a little different for the second verse, which, okay, that's fine. But what they do is they bring in all the strings and orchestral stuff instead of just playing music. And it's like, I don't like that. And then even his vocal performance, he becomes a lot more embellished and a lot more bravado and all these runs. And it's like, I miss that first verse. I miss how simple and to the point it was. And it's like the back half of the song goes in the complete opposite direction.
So I want to ask you a question. Do you think it's a symphony or symphony?
With how much they use it, I would like to think there are some actual instruments, like some actual strings and stuff, but they don't seem like the kind of band that has thousands of extra dollars to hire an orchestra. I just don't see it,
Maybe they've got some friends that play the French horn and cello and brought them on board.
Maybe they do, and that would be totally cool. I'm not mad about that. I don't know. It's whenever a metal band has that much like symphonic production, my first assumption is to assume that it is just digital tomfoolery,
Yeah. So I'm going to just say for Burn the Witch, I didn't hate this song, but this wasn't a standout for me. I do feel like this album is almost bookended with good. things. I mean, I still really enjoy this section, but it's not a standout section for me. I will say that this song is one that I have nothing bad to say about the ending. I like the way they bring this one to a close.
Yeah, and it's a shorter one, all things considered. So you're right. They don't drag it out very long.
All right, so let's talk about track 6, Wake Up.
Left without hoping you would wake me up. My heart can't beat this.
I'm glad there's not an exclamation point there, because then it'd be wake up. Yeah. So the energy shifts completely. And another reason why I don't like this song, or not that I don't like this song, but it's just not a favorite of mine off of this album. I still like it, but not as much as other things are going on here. Because here we do get a very, I feel like this song could have been performed, and this is the only time that I'm going to make a Sleep Token comparison, could have been performed by Vessel in The Room Below series of things he did in 2020.
It's funny you should say that, because I actually, after today, I was re-listening to this album, and after I listened to this song, I went and listened to The Room Below, Bloodsport, because of that exact same reason. Because I was like, man, this feels like that. Okay, so again, talking about the vocals here, I really do not like his singing in the verses of this song.
Do you ever wonder if time can really heal every wound?
I like the lyrics. I think it's clever. I do not like the vocal performance at all until the chorus, when you get that huge lift.
Mm-hmm.
I like the harmonies.
Mm-hmm.
I like what he's going for, but those verses, man, just I don't know, man. Like there's something about his voice that almost doesn't sound human. Like I can't put my finger on it. Like it's bizarre.
Yeah, this was another place where I do feel like his vocals were mixed weird.
Yeah,
and I'm going to stick to that in the verses as well. I do like the chorus here. I do know what you're talking about. There is a lift to the chorus, and the harmonies really keep this song from feeling very one note and very flat.
Mm-hmm.
The harmonies are what saves this song. I do feel like we should have expected a slowdown in this album, and I do feel like the song before this, or actually several songs within this, have given us a slowdown section of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do feel like we've gotten some definite dynamics within that I don't know if we needed this here, but at the same time, I do feel like this doesn't quite feel like a forced ballad track on an album. I do feel like it feels more genuine overall. And I think part of that may be because of the harmonies and how it lifts in the chorus.
I think the chorus is the chorus is the best part of the song.
Mm-hmm. We'll both agree there, for sure.
I think what this song is missing, and again, I'm not saying they have to do this, it just feels like it's building to something. Again, you mentioned The Room Below, Sleep Token. There's not that part at the end where he feels like he's really just pouring his heart out. It just fades out. That's fine. It feels like it's, I don't know, like it feels incomplete almost. Like it feels like again, I think the chorus is fantastic. I don't particularly care for the verses. If they did something at the end of the song that made it like you built to something that was like worth the ride, maybe, but I agree. Like, I think it makes sense here because it is, this is about the time that you would need to slow down, especially kind of like with what's coming on in the next couple songs. But it falls a little flat for me.
Yeah. So you're right. This song does feel like it's building to something. I don't feel like we ever got a payoff in that. I feel like we did get an occasional payoff with the choruses of this song. But, where Sleep Token in the Room Below was building towards taking over the damn music world and Coliseums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't reach that level. However, it did remind me of, I think I've mentioned this band to you before. I don't know if you ever listened to them, Cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've talked about Cold quite a bit.
So their album, 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage, has some moments like this. There's a song called She Said, which is the second song on that album, has a very similar intro with like this kind of piano that kind of leads in. Obviously, I like that song more because it goes into a very nu metal kind of song, but I appreciated it for that. It reminded me of, Sleep Token and Cold and other bands that I like. So I liked the vibe they were going for. I didn't love the execution.
So you went to listen to Sleep Token's Bloodsport from the Room Below. I went and listened to their Whitney Houston cover of I Want to Dance Somebody.
I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah.
So anyway.
They've got some pretty cool cover choices.
They do. Some pretty interesting ones at that. All right. Track 7, Prove Me Wrong. I'm going to go ahead and say the rest of this album is a banger.
It definitely picks up a lot. Picks up a lot here, especially coming out of Wake Up. I really liked this song. It takes a minute to get going, but once it does, it's a good one.
Yeah, so I didn't really like the intro of this song until the cymbals started. And then it was, okay, we're doing something. And then it just kind of picks up more from there. And I feel like this had less of a metalcore feeling and more of like an alternative metal feeling.
You mentioned we were talking about Octane earlier, and to me, this feels like an Octane song. Like, this is I've mentioned this before, like when a metalcore band has like that one song that's like curated for radio. This kind of feels like that to me because there's not really any screaming. There's big hooky chorus. I think it's a cool song. I like it.
I feel like this is probably the most Octane friendly song, but while I feel like this song it's aggressive and it's catchy, it steers away from becoming generic Octane core type stuff.
No, you're right. I agree with you there. I don't think me personally, my taste, I would have liked a little bit more of this vibe on the album.
But this song has some great lines in it as well. I don't know if you pay attention to lyrics at all on this track, but I like the song. I like the line, "Open your heart, does it beat or bleed?"
Open your heart, does it beat or bleed?
That's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then, show me who you are. Show me the scars you try to hide. What are you scared for? I feel like this was like a confrontational song within itself. I feel like that, is in part, the idea is driven by the title, Prove Me Wrong. And I just feel like it was fun. It was like coming out of Wake Me Up. It's like, we definitely needed to do something different. And they get that here because yes, you're right. It takes about a minute to get going because at a minute 5, it takes on a completely different sound than we had in the beginning. And it changed it up. It was like, cool. I like it.
And see, for me, I think it's got a good chorus. I like the groove. And then at 3:02, where the groove kind of locks in a little tighter, he does some vocal vamping in there that I think sounds really good. And I think it fits the vibe of the song really well.
Okay, but before we get to 302, it takes on a different sound at 105, and I feel like that sound, it's heavy, and it never feels the slower parts never feel disjointed from this song, but it's like from 105 to 136, it's like it's building to something else. And then 136, the song kicks ass from there forward.
Yeah, that section you're talking about, I don't mind it. It sort of just kind of gets us from point A to point B. Like it doesn't wow me or anything. Mm-hmm. But then, yes, I agree. I think the rest of the song is really good. I do think, and this isn't a bad thing, but I feel like the way he says, look around, look around, look around, mm-hmm. every time, I feel like they're a little bit different. So I'm wondering if he sang them all, like, so many of these bands copy and paste stuff left and right. The vocal performance on this song leads me to believe they did not do that. And maybe it's just my ears just, picking up on different things at different moments, and it feels like he's singing them a little different each time, but it feels like there's some stuff happening there, and I could be wrong, but I again, it's not a bad thing. I kind of dig that it feels authentic.
Mm-hmm. No, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I also feel the same way. And to add to it, and I had this note earlier in it, but this album gives me same room energy, not recording different parts in different places and emailing them to each other. I felt like this was an album that was written together, like we're all in the same room and making it happen. And so that whole look around thing where where he sounded a little bit different each one, I picked that more up in headphones than I did on speakers.
Yes. I don't think you get as in, like, the nuances aren't quite as prevalent when you're just listening to it in speakers, but when it's going right into your ear holes, it's like,
Oh, I would definitely say this is a headphones album. I picked up on so much more once I put on headphones, and I enjoyed this album a lot more once I did.
Yeah, sure. I think so too. The heavy parts are heavier. The vocals, I think, are a little more interesting.
Yeah, you definitely hear you hear him different in headphones. Like he sounds good on speakers, but in headphones he just sounds more full in places. Yeah, especially since the mixing, like we've said, is off, and we couldn't quite put our finger on what it was, but headphones kind of brought it together. Now, okay, I want to ask you, what was that part? What was it? 302 or 306? What was that? Where you talk about they go into the more nu metal chugs?
Yeah, at 302, it just locks into a groove, and he kind of vamps a little bit, and I think that's a fun part of the song.
Yeah, which that section that you're talking about, I did enjoy that part. And then at 323, I feel like that's where they should have closed it out.
Yep, I was going to say the same exact thing. I like the tone of the guitar, but it's just a whole lot of unnecessary stuff. Like, I feel like it could have ended like exactly where you said.
Yeah. This is another one where, and I felt this in multiple places, I haven't mentioned it but once before, but this is another one where it felt like as the song went on, it got more crowded. And I feel like, while I love From Here On in this album, I think it's great, I feel like less is more something they should have employed.
It's fine. Like, I don't mind it. But I also agree that it should have ended sooner.
All right, so let's end the conversation about that song and talk about track 8, Hiding in Plain Sight.
What a great transition. You truly have a gift.
I'm good at words.
Not reading them or saying them. But other than that, yeah, you are.
I'm the best at words. I don't know what you're talking about.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Okay, so okay. I'm trying to figure out how to go about talking about this one. I love this song. I think this is a great song, but it feels very familiar. It feels like we've heard this one, but we haven't heard this one. I don't know. It felt, you know how like you put on a coat from last winter and you find $20 in the pocket? It's like, it's like, this is what I hear. Oh, it's a surprise. That's what it felt like to me. Like it felt warm and a surprise at the same time. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
I know you mentioned that for you, Prove Me Wrong is just banger after banger. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you enjoy it. I don't particularly like this song very much.
That genuinely surprises me because I felt like this one was full of super chugs and new metal tones.
I guess I don't really hear the new metal. I hear yes, there's like some dive bombs and stuff, but it's got that like Mick Gordon, like super overdriven, weird, like guitar that doesn't even sound like guitar anymore. It's just like fuzz and squeals. It's not bad. I'm having a little bit of fun with it to a certain point, and then I'm kind of over it.
Okay. What point are you having fun and what point are you over it?
So the first half of the song, I'm okay. And then at 2:13,
that's funny because I have the exact same note.
Okay. At 2:13, he hits us with this like Axl Rose impersonation that I don't love, but I'm like, okay, you something different. That's fine.
Yeah, I have the note 2:13. What the hell is this vocal?
Yes. But then after that, it goes into this more of that weird, like orchestral, like bells and chimes and stuff. And he sounds like he's got a mouthful of God and he's singing far, far away. I don't like it.
I'm sorry for
we all have to go to the dentist, okay? If he left after having a tooth pulled or something, fine. No.
Then do this vocal track after the healing process, because I don't. Again, this whole section here where it's very orchestral and like ethereal, and I guess it's meant to be spooky and stuff, but I just don't like this. And then they ramp it up another notch around 2:35 with these like huge organ stings. And it feels like a late 60s, early 70s, like exploitation soundtrack, like some movie called like Satan's Armpit or something. And it's just like, what?
I would watch
What
that.
are we doing? Oh yeah, I'd watch the shit out of that. But I'm just saying, like, why is all this in the middle of this metal song? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's the part that I'm confused by, because in a minute or so, we get back to the metal song. Like,
yeah. So, by the way, Satan's Armpit is how I described the humidity level in Charleston, South Carolina at 7:30 in the morning. It just,
oh man,
it's muggy and miserable.
Armpit, if you're lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. Around 3 o'clock, it becomes Satan's taint. And
I knew you were going with taint. I could feel it.
You can feel the taint. Good. Okay.
Oh.
So, all right. I'm really surprised that you have the feelings that you do about this song, because like I said, I feel like in the guitar, especially in the first half, which is the part that you said you did like, we do get what I feel like were just super chugs and new tones within the guitar. Maybe I was wrong there. Maybe I don't know what new metal. I don't even know what music is. What am I doing?
What are we doing? No, I get what you're saying, but to me, it just sounds like metalcore. Like I don't hear the bounce and groove that you associate with new, especially, and that kind of guitar tone is also very like modern guitar kind of stuff. That's like, it's powerful for a moment. And I appreciate that they don't use this tone all throughout the album. This is specifically for just like points of emphasis, like on this song.
Well, they use that tone for Hiding in Plain Sight.
I wish I could slap you. Like, we need to start doing these in person so I can physically assault you when you say things like that.
Why would I put myself in reach of you? Okay, so
Good thinking.
I was really digging everything that was happening. And then 213 happened. And like I said, I have the note of what the hell is this vocal? And I kind of just felt like that was a speed bump in this, because then we go into the bridge, which at 219, which is kind of creepy, and it's got and I like the vibe that's there. But then it does go into, at 236, it takes on this like church-inspired sound. And I kind of feel like that was appropriate given what the name of the album is and that we've gotten religious imagery all throughout this. But then after after we go to church, we do get a weird static. And then I feel like we go into what I could only describe as we're now in aims to hurt territory, because then it goes real big.
Yeah, and that's when I really felt like Doomslayer Mick Gordon showed up. It was during that last section for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this song from beginning to end, except for 213, the vocals there.
Like I said, that whole middle section just does nothing for me. Like that's that stuff that I'm just over. You know what I mean? It's just, I get it. I don't know. It's one of those things like we talk about on some of those albums where it's like, if everything is heavy, it stops being heavy. If everything is this huge, epic swing, then it stops feeling that way. It starts feeling like, I don't know, like I'm tired of it. It just doesn't work for me at all at this point.
All right. Well, it can continue not working for you, but we are going to talk about track 9, Everyone Dies. Go ahead. I see you like, I can't tell if you're nodding as like, yep, more of the same, or yep, I like it.
Mostly more of the same. The problem is Everybody Dies by Head PE is a banger, and I really like that song. Everyone Dies, I like a lot less.
I would rather listen to Everyone Dies than Everybody Dies.
Right, because that's the wrong answer.
Sure.
I do like that this one is a little bit waltzy.
It is. It does have a waltzy backbone to it.
Yeah. There are some parts in this one with the echoey guitar and stuff that I actually said I was getting like sort of in a Perfect Circle kind of vibe.
Your word is divine, flawed by design.
Which I made very clear, Mayor de Gnomes is like a all-timer for me, so not mad about that.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because before we recorded, after I was done with my notes and I said, I'm not doing any more, I was thinking about this album, and I was thinking, I really like this album, but this is not an album I can listen to in any mood. I have to be in a certain mood, kind of like Monster and Mayor de Gnomes.
You're not wrong. Okay, so again, dude's got a great voice. We all agree. Great singer. I'm at this point, I'm kind of getting over it though. Like, I feel like whenever the first verse is happening, especially around 40 some seconds, 44 seconds or something, where everything kind of drops down and he goes into that real high pitch singing. It's like, we've seen all these moves. Like there's nothing, we're making fun of that weird, like high pitched hair metal thing he does in Hiding in Plain Sight, but at least it was something different. this, I feel like we've heard this already. If it wasn't for the waltzy rhythm, like I feel like I've already heard this song.
Okay, but we haven't heard this one because this is track 9. Everyone does.
And I will say at 109, I do like that a lot.
Yeah, because at 109, it does get very heavy.
Yes.
And I was having a very good time because I also really enjoy that section. Okay, so before 109, yes, the guitar work stood out to me on this song. I think this is probably, I know I said before, best guitar work. I think this is the second best guitar work on this album. I really think it's a standout on this track. But I will 100% agree with you. 109, it gets heavy fun. I'm having a blast there. And I think it's just a consistent thing for this band where it's like they're going to make us wait. They're going to make us wait for a payoff, and it's going to be good. I'm going to enjoy the ride. You not so much, but me, I will.
I don't know. Like I don't know. There's just so many parts on this song where the vocals kind of take me out of it. Like there's these parts where he sings "Everyone Dies" in this real high pitched. Like it feels like it's at the top of his register, but he didn't want to go falsetto, and it just sounds, I don't know, it sounds kind of silly. Like it doesn't sound, the music on this song feels very serious.
Yes, it does.
And the vocals take me out of that on a lot of spots.
Well, I don't think that you could have a song called "Everyone Dies" and with a slide whistle. So the music's going to have to sound serious.
No, I agree. So what he does with his vocals at like 236 through like 241, 242 might as well be a slide whistle. To my ears. Like it just feels silly.
What I will say is that I have the note down that I feel like during that section, he should have, stopped singing and let the music be the centerpiece there, not his vocals be the centerpiece. And so that is something that I do have a criticism of within this album, that I do feel like, I said before, I don't always, like where he puts the falsetto.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like he puts his vocals in places where they don't belong at all times.
Yes.
Because we have talked about, I've said several times about the guitar work. You've mentioned things about the musicality of this album. And the thing is that this is a very talented band and the band should be shown off more. And instead, I feel like we get more of his vocals showing off. And he can do vocal gymnastics all day, but you still have a damn good band behind you.
Right. And to kind of, add an exclamation point to that, the section right after it at 245, where it gets heavy as hell and he starts screaming. I think sounds really cool. Mm-hmm. And
I actually put down the bridge at 245 should be noted by other bands.
If you want to make like I told you I went and saw Jaluka, and one of the openers was this band called Victims that did not care for it. But they had a lot of sections, like a lot of parts in their songs that sounded like this. But what's cool about what they're doing here on Everyone Dies is the rhythm is off just enough that it keeps it interesting. It slows down and does that like John, like that massive thing. But because it's in the middle of this like waltzy song, it's kind of cool. Like, again, he goes into this weird high pitched singing in the middle of it that I don't think is necessarily the right move. But I don't know. That section is a lot of fun.
You're right. It is a lot of fun. And do you have how long this song is? Like I said, I don't have the times.
Okay, so that's what I was getting ready to say too. The song is 4 minutes and 10 seconds. I think the guitar after that heavy section sounds like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
and even his vocals on top of it, I think sound really good. I feel like this should have been a different song. Like, what the guitar is doing with the way he's singing feels like a different song. And I almost wish they would have just changed the notes a little bit, sing different lyrics, and make it a different song, because this part is really cool. And I don't think it belongs here. I think it should be its own thing.
No, I definitely feel like this Everyone Dies should have been a 3:30 song. Like, I don't think it I definitely don't feel like it should be as long as it was, because I agree with what you're talking about. Now, I really like the end section of the song, but I don't feel like it exactly matches the rest of the song that we got before it.
Everyone dies for Hunter.
But I like both parts. I just don't think they match. But at the same time, what are we going to cut?
Like I said, I just wish it did, like, I want to hear more of that. I feel like just slapping it on the last 20 seconds of this song is doing that moment a disservice, because it is so good. I don't know. Like, I agree. Like, I don't necessarily think you need to change anything, but in this song sooner and keep that piece. And, like I said, tweak it so it's not the same as what you're doing, but make it its own thing, flesh it out, because I think it deserves it.
Yep. All right, so let's move on to talk about track 10, Writing Goodbyes. So I did think it was entertaining that, everyone just died, and now we're going to write goodbyes. Yeah. So, okay. I think that this is actually the closest the entire album gets to just straight up metalcore.
Really?
Yeah. No, I do feel like we have had metalcore moments throughout this album, but I feel like we get like sustained metalcore throughout this song, because this song, I feel like the screams are just nastier. The guitars just hit with a punch. The pacing of this song feels more aggressive than pretty much anything else here.
I don't disagree with you. This to me is one of the better songs on the album, because it does sound a little more unique to them. I don't really hear the metalcore as much as I hear like sort of more alternative, even a little bit of new metal, because okay, so I have complained about the orchestral stuff. I do like the piano, because I get the impression he is playing the piano and singing. And the way they incorporate the piano with the chuggy guitars and his voice all throughout this song, I think is really, really good. And the thing about this song is it does some really unique chord changes. There's a lot of spots where you think it's going to go one way because that's a typical song structure, but instead they'll go to this like minor dissonant chord and kind of keeps you on your toes. And so, I mean, yeah, I guess we'll put it under the umbrella of metalcore, but I think that's almost doing it a disservice, because it is actually a really interesting song.
No, I agree. I think this is probably one of the best songs off the album. I genuinely like this song as well. But I said it's probably the closest to, I did not say it's a metalcore song. I feel like the fact that we get the closest to it, but it doesn't quite get to a metalcore song, where it doesn't have the generic metalcore structure of things. It definitely steps outside of the metalcore genre to where it should be noticed, but it's going to be quite friendly to those that live in metalcore all the time.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is a metalcore song by any means. I'm just saying this is probably the closest to it, but it's not a metalcore song. Okay. The guitar work on this song is incredible. It's
Some good
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But I think probably my favorite part of the song is the drum hits we get at 105. They're just fun. And it's a fun little break within the aggression, because we did start with a music box in the song.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just becomes a vocal heavy, guitar heavy. It's just a heavy ass song. And then we get this fun little drum hits. Yeah.
So to your point, again, we're talking near the end of your album. The singer's been doing a lot of cool stuff. I'm not going to call him Holy. I'm not going to call him Patty. We'll just stick with Patrick. I think what he does at like 119, and he does it a couple more times throughout the song. I would have liked to have heard a little bit more of that, because and maybe there's not more of that, because it feels like it hurts. Like it feels like he is singing in a way that is a stretch for him.
Oh, my throat hurt after that section.
Yes. But then that guitar riff right after that with that bounce and groove. Yes. Hell yes. That's the injected into my veins section.
Okay. Sorry, I was injecting the wrong part into your veins.
You did, but that's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I went heroin early.
We've all been there.
It's like, I don't know, it's 7:00 on a Thursday. It's like, now's not the time, but we're going to do this anyway. So let's, 3:30, the solo. Oh, it's a stadium solo.
Earlier.
Or 3:03.
That guitar solo kicks in 3:03. Yeah.
3:03, not 3:30. Sorry. My dyslexia is showing. But no, that's a stadium solo.
3:03. Come on now. We just did their album.
Yeah, we did. And I guess I just subconsciously mixed up 3:03 and 3:30, because I just don't want to talk about 3:03 anymore. Anyway, yeah, 3:03, that is a fun killer solo. I loved every bit of it. I wanted to eat it, and I wanted more of it. I wanted that solo to go on longer, but they had to stop because they needed to go into the final chorus.
And I think this is a good song structure here. I think that solo rips. I do think the little quiet part before could have been sped up a little bit, or just shortened, I guess. But
the quiet part before made the solos hit so much bigger.
I know, but
it's called dynamics. You've talked about it a bunch.
Yes, I'm aware, but it just feels like padding almost. Yes, you need a little bit, but you don't need a lot. But I do like that they do the chorus one more time at the end. I feel like this song warrants that. And I got to tell you, on an album like this, first time through, you're looking at the songs and listening. Wake Up was in the middle. I just knew this song was going to be the same way. And I was more than pleasantly surprised. I was like, man, this song really kind of rips right here at the end. I appreciate that.
All right. So what I will say for the end of the song is I do feel like the ending drags a bit, but it's just nasty.
Nah, I think out of that guitar solo, you needed one more section, and I'm glad they went with the section they went with. I think it ends the song with a bang.
No, I don't dislike it. I feel like it dragged a little bit, but it was good. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about track 11, Without You.
Without sweet nothing's played on loop. It's kind of rule you won't let me lose. As if you ain't 1,000 miles back home.
I'm going to go ahead and say track 10 should have been a closer track.
This feels like a completely different band.
It does.
I like it. I like it a lot. The singer sounds like a different person. The guitar sounds like a different guitar player. The lyrics are blunt as all hell. And maybe I shouldn't like them, but I think the lyrics are kind of a highlight of the song for as like in your face as they are. Like there is nothing flowery and metaphoric about it. It is, this happened at this place and this is how I feel.
It's a very matter-of-fact song. Okay, so this song was originally a collaboration with Juku. I've never heard of Juku.
I would have to guess, without knowing anything, and I could be completely wrong, just from the vibe, I would imagine Juku is some kind of a rapper, possibly like a emo SoundCloud trap kind of performer, because that's what this song sounds like to me. Like with take away the guitar and just like with that kind of vibe, you know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean. I think that this would be a great live track. I don't think that this is a track that belongs on this album because, like you said, it sounds like a different band. This song sounds mixed entirely different from the beginning.
My mind in a vice grip. Your legs are wrapped around my head and I hope tough sweet.
Just the beginning, like coming off of track 10 to this was like, what is this? I don't understand. And to end your album with a remastered track that was, released before and done with a guest on the track, it was a risky move. I don't know. I didn't like the song until 140, and then I liked it better, but I still didn't love it.
But at least we got telephones. Whoever said
There's something about this song I genuinely like. I really do like this song. Like you said, it just feels like a different band. It feels like it belongs somewhere else. And I listened to a couple other songs by these guys, and a lot of it has some of this vibe. So I think I should maybe listen to some more of that kind of stuff. From what I can tell, this Juku is like an electronic artist more than anything.
That makes sense, given the song. I get the electronic artist part of things, but I don't know. For me, I feel like this track should have just been left off.
Yeah, I'm glad it's here because I do genuinely like it, but I almost feel like you have to listen to it removed from the album because it does not fit the vibe of the album whatsoever. So for me, coming off of such a this huge, sweeping, moody album, I don't know. I kind of liked having this as a bit of a palate cleanser, but it definitely feels a few steps removed from what this album's story is.
That's fair. All right, Monster, let me ask you a question. What's new with you?
Hey, good looking. What you got? Cooking.
Prove me wrong. That song has a bounce and groove that the rest of the album flirts with, but never from start to finish. I feel like that song has the most from start to finish new vibe.
I'm really surprised that you would say that because I felt like you were more into track 10, Writing Goodbyes.
I think Writing Goodbyes is a more interesting song, but I don't feel like it's as new metal as Prove Me Wrong, because Prove Me Wrong just has this bounce and groove, where Writing Goodbyes is a little bit more all over the place.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Angel, what's cooking?
I'm going to go with Pure Leaf.
I'm doing this again. I can feel myself.
And this is a situation where I'm just going to pick probably my favorite track off of the album because this is not a good album to cook to. There's just too much going on. There's too many highs and lows, and the highs are real high. They scream and whatnot. His vocals are just kind of all over the place. This is not a good cooking album, but out of this whole album, I would probably pick Pure Leaf.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know I'm going to be higher than you
Oh,
on
yeah.
the score. Yeah. So go for it. Give us yours.
And I will tell you that, like a lot of these albums, I kind of have a number in my mind, but as we talk about it and I'm thinking about it, you know, you can take notes, but when you're thinking about it in real time, it kind of shifts a little bit, you know? So I'm gonna read my closing statement, but I will say I did bump it up a little bit from where I had it before we started recording. So I will
Well,
say
I'm
that.
glad I could convince you at least to 0.01.
That's about where I was. Yeah, you're right.
Good. I'm so glad I was wrong about, or right about the, yeah, whatever. Give us your closing statement.
Holywatr is another in a long list of modern metalcore bands that mix melody with heavy riffs and symphonic production. And I feel pretty much the same way I do towards Holywatr as I do towards a lot of those other bands. Very enthusiastically meh. The singer has a unique voice, but sometimes I feel like he's trying too hard and not just leaning into the things that he does best. I don't want to call these guys a Sleep Token ripoff, that wouldn't be fair, but they do so many of the same things it's hard for me not to hear it in almost every song. I think the musicianship is solid, but nothing about this album really sticks with me after it's over. Feels a little overdramatic and a little underwhelming. I look forward to the day when every metalcore band doesn't sound like Danny Elfman is an uncredited musician on their album. But there is a lot that I after having this conversation, I have to admit that I think I like it a little bit better than I thought I did. So 1 to 10, I said 6.13. Before we started recording, I was in the 5s, but I think there's enough on here that I can appreciate. So I'll give it a little over a 6.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. That's actually a little bit higher than I was expecting you to go.
It's a little higher than I thought I was going to go to, but I think this is the kind of album that, and I'll be honest here, there was a couple times when I listened to this album that I did, like, it worked for me better. And then there were other times I listened to, I was like, I don't want to listen to this anymore. So I think this is one that I might come back to later and might even enjoy more.
Okay. Listen to this album on one of your walks at dusk.
Yeah, I could see that being a good time for it. I'm definitely interested to go back and listen to some of the older stuff because Without You was kind of interesting. And I didn't love Nail Polish, but I think I get what he was going for. So I might venture out and check out some other stuff. We'll see.
Okay.
So Danger, bring us home. End us on a high positive note.
Holywatr has become a lush. I say that not as an insult like Taking Back Sunday did, but as an observation after listening to Deo Gratias. I'm going to stumble over how to pronounce that word. Anyway, I say that as this album fully embraces excess in pretty much every way. This album is like a theater kid got really dramatic about religion and horror movies and wanted to make an absurd metalcore album, and I'm not mad about it. Holywatr makes it clear that they don't have commitment issues as they have fully committed to this sound and imagery. And I say that after listening to the things that they did before. Their past music shows that this is where they were going, and there is no apology of or embarrassment. I do think that this is a banger of an album. It is not without its flaws, though. They aren't the best at knowing when to bring a song to a close. The mixing could be better in some spots, and parts of the first half occasionally flirt with formulaic metalcore, modern metal tropes. If this is the direction that the water becomes holy, well then take me to church. I gave this album a 7.65.
Okay. I think we're being reasonable to the kind of music that we like. I think those are respectable numbers.
I'm glad I got your approval.
Just take the damn compliment.
Thank you. So Monster gave Holywatr's Deo Gratias a 6.13, and I gave it a 7.65, which gives an overall average of 6.89, putting it into the 40th position, just above Drugs and just below the Nick Hexum Quintet.
Drugs, yes. Nick Hexum, no.
Right. I would actually really enjoy a show with, I would enjoy going to see drugs, not enjoy a show with drugs. Anyway.
I don't know. I think I'd enjoy a show with drugs and holy water.
Anyway, yeah, no, I do think that drugs and holy water would be a good show to go see. So, anyway.
Hell of a combo.
Yep. If you disagree with the score that we have given this album, then please shoot us an email at breakdownsbreakfast@gmail.com or head on over to one of our social media platforms, Facebook, X, or Instagram, and let us know what you thought about this episode or if there's an album that you would like for us to give the Breakdowns treatment to in the future.
In lieu of a joke, I have some practical advice to give our listeners as well as you. Do you know how to make holy water?
No?
You boil the hell out of it.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.